What's up, guys? We are live. We got Jordan Cook with us here today on Talking Ship, where we go back and look through old CrossFit media. We're not going super far back today, but we're bringing on Jordan, and then Travis eventually will join us, and we're going to look at some events from regionals back in 2014, 2015, 2016, and maybe even 2017. When was Team Don't Stop? When you guys did the team, what year was that? Can you hear me? Did I lose you already? Well, Jordan can't hear me, so I'll keep talking.
That was 2018.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, 2018 was Team Don't Stop.
2018.
The first. Hang on.
Jordan's doing his best,
Seth,
guys.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great. He's doing his best.
There
He's
we
at
go.
work.
There we go.
Oh, that's so much better.
Well,
he's at work being a full-time firefighter now, and he's on duty. Oh, I'm losing you again. All right, I'm gonna pull up a video, and we're gonna watch as we try to get your connection back.
Yeah, my headphones are connected.
All good. All good. You put it out. I'm gonna get a video going. No stress.
Yeah. There we go.
I think it's mostly your service, your internet. I can hear you in and out, but here we go. All right, guys. So this was back in 2014, final event of regionals. Oh, look who's joining us just in time to watch. What's up, dude?
Oh, just in time.
Just in time. We're watching Jordan become the first ever Misfit athlete at the time to qualify for the CrossFit Games. Look at that uniform, Travis. Look at you go. And the stash. Both you guys with the mustaches now. You're so official.
Hear me now?
You're still in and out with your audio, Jordan. It might be where you're at. You might be, the room you're in might just be not good for Wi-Fi.
Oh man, I remember everybody struggled so much with this squat.
Dude, it was crazy.
205. Nobody can just go match it.
Here comes Jordan.
Oh yeah, I think I was just in survival mode.
You were. I remember you decided you were going to break the pull-ups early. We had talked about that because you knew you were good with the 205 bar.
Yeah, no, I think because I pretty much had it cinched the win, so I think we were like, hey, be conservative a little bit, and like, you got this. You just can't completely screw it up.
Right. Yeah. Oh, your audio is much better now, by the way.
Yeah, I've got more bars now. So
perfect. You're good to go. And there it is. I don't think I ever yelled so loud at a CrossFit competition for that moment. Look at you. You can't believe it either.
Dude, I think it was pretty surreal. That's for sure. I mean, I had no expectation of going to the CrossFit Games that year, let alone winning the regional. So, I remember, I think everyone felt that way. The Misfit eyes, I think, were mostly towards Cameron at the time because he was kind of y'all stud in the South, right? And I was kind of just like, I don't know, like mediocre through training. Like I was getting good and stuff, and then for some reason, it pulled together for all those events. And
I think your breakout event, if I remember correctly, really was the 21, 18, 15 or whatever, 21, 15, 12, 9, 6, 3, I think it was. It was the strict handstand push-up, burpee over the bar, front squat. You kind of annihilated that with your strict handstand push-up abilities. And then after that workout where you were sitting on the leaderboard, you were like, oh, damn, like this is really happening now. Like this could happen this year. Because you did good on the snatch, the hang snatch, and the handstand walk prior to that, which we expect you to do pretty good, but you were like very competitive there. And then that workout hit.
What was after? There was another event before the burpee handstand push-up one that I did really well, and I was like, oh, wow, hey, I'm placing high. It was the pistol one?
You got like second or third in that one.
Yeah, and I remember like I destroyed the heat in that workout. And I think I was in like second place the next day. And we were all like, well, legless rope climbs are coming up. And this is going to be, we'll see what happens. And I ended up I don't even think I dropped from second. And then the next one I really crushed. Yeah. And it bumped me up to like first place or something like that.
That was the only time for the whole weekend that I was even nervous for you, was the legless rope climbs. And I stood right behind your rope on the guardrail there. And like every time you jumped up to grab the rope, I was like, I held my breath the whole time. I'm like, just get up there, get up there.
Yeah, I specifically remember that event I was pretty nervous about. And I remember running down the lane, seeing you just arms waving, get up that effing rope, you know. And then I remember another instance. I think I was like, I remember I was going into the chipper wad, and one of you, the Misfit coach, one of you guys had basically were like, hey, so like, you've got a shot at this, you know. I didn't, honestly, I was like, well, I've done okay in training on this chipper event. And one of y'all said to me, was like, hey, do you have a games motor? And I was like, we'll find out. And, you know, sure enough, I was able to do pretty well. And I think I got third in the event. And I remember on the ring dips, I remember just kind of taking a deep breath, and I looked up, and you just kind of give me this calm, like, hey, you're doing fine. Just keep chipping away, you know. And I was like, all right, let's keep moving. And sure enough, we got to the end of that, and it went well. So, yeah.
Speaking of that event.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the beginning of the chipper. Travis, you liked this event, didn't you?
No, I did terrible.
You did terrible? Well, you didn't. This wasn't your best year overall. This was like your warm-up year.
This is pre, like, what, weight loss Travis. Like,
yes.
He was really fit, but he was still just really big. So
yep, he was a thick boy then.
All body weight killed him. And there was ring dips in that workout, right? So it was like
at the end, yeah. The ring dips to the strap. You guys remember that standard?
I do remember that.
Touch your back to the strap.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, huh? Certain standards. I remember like the legless rope climb workout, the standards, like, hey, touch that beam, you do whatever you want. How you want to get down is your business. And it was just like, I remember that year being the sketchiest year of like, I just hit that thing and dropped straight from the top, no descend of like, no control. And you just had to go for it.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah. I was like, gosh, that event hurt.
Do you guys feel like semifinals is doing as good of a job of creating like hype events as regionals did back at this point? What's that?
I think it's about the same.
You do?
Yeah, maybe a little bit less inclusive, but for the most part. Really inclusive, right? Because everybody in the world got to go to regionals because they took, 30 people to like 7 different events in America.
Yep. But yeah, you're right. So a lot of people got to participate, but you weren't really watching at all the bottom 2 heats, right? Like people were just going to the bathroom and getting their going to the vendor village at that point. People only really watching the top heat. And one of the things I think was interesting for you two guys during these years coming up, I thought you guys were like a really good, obviously I'm biased, but whatever. You were a really good story, you and a bunch of other guys from the South, but it was the same time as Froning, Panchik, Holmberg, Hendren, all those dudes in Central East, and CrossFit basically put all their eggs in covering those athletes for that time. So you guys really kind of got overshadowed, I think, for what you were doing for the sport, especially in Texas area, because it was really overshadowed by Central East for years and years. And obviously, some of the best athletes ever came out of Central East, so it is what it is. But I thought your stories were always really cool, and I thought, back in our Misfit days, we tried to do a really good job of highlighting you guys. But anyway,
yeah, y'all definitely put us out there and gave us give us a good platform, I think. And we definitely, I think Jen Jones was like the first big one in Houston. And then after I came along next year, Travis came along after that, then Alexis was. I think there was quite a big growth of athletes after you started having games athletes pop up in the Houston area. It just kind of spread quickly, but like you said, the attention was on the Central region, but kind of rightfully so, in the aspect of like those were the guys that were going to be at the top at the games. Like, I mean, I didn't hold a candle to those guys at the games, so I think that was kind of always the mentality, and I understood it.
Yeah, I think we all did, right? Because we were all watching those. What's that, Travis?
Yeah, we were just redheaded stepchild of the region.
Totally.
Those guys in the South, those clowns, they're just good because nobody else is good down there. Like,
This is precisely. I think, Seth, you remember the first time I met Savon at the games in 2014?
I don't remember the interaction. What happened?
It was me and you were playing pool at the Marriott,
Oh,
at the hotel.
Yes.
And Savon and Castro came up and like just introduced themselves. Like, I'm just like big-eyed over here, like, oh my gosh, can't believe I'm here type thing. And Savon like kind of just asked me a couple questions. He's like, man, what did he say specifically? It was like, so does it feel weird knowing that like you probably couldn't make it here in any other regional? Something like that. Just straight up, I was like, thanks. Like, just straight up. And that was my first experience with Savon. Just the straight, brutal honesty question of, hey, you don't really belong here.
Well,
the
year that they did that documentary that I put on here, this show a couple weeks ago, they only took 3 or whatever. The year it was like Froning, Panchek, and Will Morad, and then Holmberg didn't make it, and a number of others didn't make it. To be fair, nobody in any other region would have went in there and took a spot from any of those guys. It was like insane how good that region was.
I think I would have placed like 15th to 20th or something like that in that region. Maybe.
It might have been that bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it was what it is what it was, but like definitely didn't make me feel good at the moment.
I don't think his job is to make you feel good. It's to make you feel awkward and give him a soundbite, right?
Yeah, give him a little.
Give him something real.
Give him some emotion real quick. Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the next year. I remember before we got here, Travis. So Jordan qualified for the games 2014. We all went out to dinner that night. Travis, do you remember what you had said to me when we were at that Mexican place? You were slamming beers after regionals wrapped up?
Probably said, but I don't remember exactly what I said.
Basically,
I remember.
Oh, okay. Tell it, Jordan.
He told you, he's like, all right, whatever I have to do, I'm going to start doing it. I'm going to start training with Jordan every day, and I'm going to follow this program to the T. I'm just going to do what Jordan's doing. And I think I remember hearing that, and then I also remember saying, well, you got to stop freaking drinking every day too, or something like that, like, and whatnot. And man, he wasn't kidding. He wasn't kidding.
What a year of training and then competing that turned into. So let's watch probably one of the most exciting moments I can ever remember being a part of in CrossFit, and one of the best and most fun events I think they ever did. So this is 2015. Travis and Jordan are both in right in the qualifying area. I think Travis is pretty far ahead. I think he's second to Roy right now. You're third going into this?
I think me and him were literally competing for second place at this point.
Okay.
We had already locked up qualifying for the game.
Zach Cole said he's looking forward to the muscle ups, but I'm anxious to see what a smaller, lighter guy's going to be able to do with the bar. Whereas
your audio sucks, Travis. You're cutting in and out.
Heavier, stronger competitor, what's he going to do with the muscle ups in the bar? That's the battle. They went 5 and 6 and flip flop. Let's see what they do.
Oh, my muscle ups look terrible here. I remember this.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
The lockout? Let's see, where is it?
Yeah, I swung so much. I was doing weird stuff to try and stop my swing.
That's right. You were like swinging back and forth all over the place.
Yeah, so my arms got wider and wider. And I didn't even think about how bad the reps looked, but the judge just kept giving me reps, so I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, crazy, awesome workout. There's Travis. It all comes down to the end of this. So if you don't know what you're watching here, you wait till the very end.
Oh yeah.
The moment. The moment that I wish I had framed on my wall.
Somewhere. It's on the camera somewhere.
Oh, it comes up in this. I made sure of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think because like you see, like we're swinging so much. Oh, there we go on the cleans. Oh yeah, so fun. All the mayhem there, all the chaos. I remember seeing him peripherally down the lane. I see him down the lane in my left. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's me and that turd. Oh
Travis
yeah, he
picks it up in first, and then right across,
dude,
with the finger.
Literally, I
So-
think I remember running down there to give him a big hug because I was like, man, we made it. And then I see a finger, so I'm like, oh, all right, I love you too, bro.
The second he came across, biggest middle finger ever, right over at Jordan. They finished 1-2 in this event.
Yep. Give
By
me the
2
old, you're number
tenths
one,
of a
bro.
second. You're number one. 2/10 of a second. The middle finger. That shit was not happening back then. There was so little shit talk, so little like bro battling going on. Everyone was like, the people who didn't like each other just didn't talk to each other. There was no like gamesmanship. There was none of that happening back then. Travis and Jordan really like kind of brought it in a friendly way, but
Yeah.
I think there's a good
that was
replay.
Travis's 100. That was Travis's personality, 100%, just to have fun. I mean, he never took any of that personally. He just thought it was fun. So, it was just, I mean, I never really got into it that much, but because I was Travis, it kind of forced me. Like, he baited me so much, and I just I had such an fragile ego that I was going to bait into it.
So it all came down to
Well, I tell you what, Jordan, you definitely got your share of getting picked on, but you took it really well, all things considered, throughout all the years. Like everyone else got picked on, but you took it really well.
Yeah, I mean, just do it. It's all
Here's the middle finger.
Yeah. Let's get a replay of that action right there.
Yeah. Big smile on your face.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, what a freaking moment that was. Like, I like to bring this up with you guys because, like, I feel like some of these most epic moments from now, almost 10 years ago, were so overshadowed back then by the Central East region. There's so many good moments back in regionals, not even just with you two, but with a lot of other athletes that really get overlooked. But obviously, I know the story of you two a lot better.
Right.
Anyway, that's such a great moment.
Great moments, man. That was honestly like that was like I don't know. I don't think that was the fittest we ever were, but that was the best training year we ever probably had.
Yeah.
And the amount of growth, I guess, as athletes we had because we were literally doing every misfit piece together. And like I was like, I'm going to beat you in this workout, and he's going to try and beat me in this workout, and it pushed us to a whole new level.
What were you saying, Travis?
I said that's a really good way to put it. That's probably the biggest year of growth that we had.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that was obvious. I think after the year that Jordan qualified, you guys started to really believe that you belonged and could get there and were willing to do what it took to get there. So I'll ask you guys a couple questions for going to the next video. Like, number one, you guys were very consistent training partners, and you had some other people that you trained with here and there as well. Now that like everybody in CrossFit feels like they have to be a part of a camp or they're being like left out, like, do you think that it's more beneficial to be a part of a training camp situation, or is it more beneficial just to have one partner you train with, or is it more beneficial to do stuff like that you need to do on your own schedule?
I mean, like, if you to me, just going to a camp and like be there for a weekend or maybe, I don't know, even a couple weeks, that's not
I think he's talking about like being a part of one of the big programs, like
and like living there with other people.
You live there with a group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. As long as you're just hungry to get better and beat all of those people, I think that's probably the best situation because you have multiples now. Now you're not just figuring out. I gotta figure out how to beat Jordan in this pull workout. Now I gotta figure out how to beat everybody in this pull workout. So.
Interesting.
I think a blend of all of it is great, but I think the predominant thing would be having a specific training partner that you can work well with. I mean, the biggest thing that me and Travis got from him, I mean, we're very, very similar life stories, but just kind of very different, kind of upbringings and beliefs. But we worked really well together, even though we fought a lot. We were, bickering constantly with each other, fighting like little brothers, I'd say.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But at the end of the day, we'd be fighting and like calling each other nasty names, and then at the end of the day, all right, I'll see you tomorrow, and be ready to train again. It was just how it was, and so that was our personalities, but we were having so much fun working out and trying to compete with each other and getting better that it drew some other people into it too.
For sure.
Alexa started training with us from time to time. We had, other competitive athletes saw what we had. And because, we started getting some social media following, getting a little attention from some people that we were kind of sought after to train with a little bit from different athletes, and that pushed us even further. And so I think all of it's good. You should be able to train by yourself and beat your head in the ground by yourself. But and training with groups of people is fun because you get a big experience. But predominantly, in my opinion, having a good training partner that you can work well with and not fight with so much that it makes you lose sleep. That's going to be the best bet.
For sure. And then I think this is an interesting question. How would you train with a training partner who has different weaknesses and strengths? And so my take on that is from a coaching perspective is I think that's a plus, because those who have, if you have a weakness and your training partner has a strength, they may know something about that movement or training that particular area of your game a little bit, and they can elevate you, show you what you should be doing, make you push sets more often, make you bring intensity in those areas a little more often to make that progress. And then, if the other partner has something different that they're good at, they'll lift it up. So the two of you together, or three or whatever, will kind of raise each other up by pushing each other in the areas that they're lacking, or at least giving a clear demonstration that you are lacking here. And if this comes up in the test at regionals or the games, you are going to fall on your face. So I think it's a plus to have people who are good at different things.
I honestly, I kind of disagree with you there, but
go for it.
I think it's harder to learn somebody that's just from somebody that's just naturally really good at it, like somebody that's naturally strong. Because, I don't know, anytime people ask me, hey, why are you so good at cycling a bar? Same with Alexis. I ask her how she's so good at toes to bar. She's like, I don't know, how you suck so bad at it. But I learn more from people that have similar weaknesses and that have gotten better at the movement. Hey, what did you do specifically to actually figure this fucking thing out? So
that's a fair point too.
Why, because Jordan and I were pretty close in a lot of the things we did. We weren't super far apart. Maybe handstand push-ups we were far apart, but everything else, and I could kind of pick off of Jordan's brain what he was doing exactly on his toes to bar, what he was doing on his burpees to actually help myself get there. I'm not gonna. I mean, Jordan was good at burpees, but he was by no means like a Medeiros or a specialist. like an Irving.
Right.
If anybody knows that, Irving. That's the only guy I can really. Mertens is the new Irving, right?
Yep.
So, but I couldn't learn anything from Mertens doing burpees.
Right. No, I totally get that. When someone has a mechanical advantage on you, there's not much you can do to overcome that, no matter how hard you train. But I do think I hear what you're saying. Learning from somebody who overcame something to get good at it, and then teaching you that is quite valuable as well. But also, if the person you're training with at a high level displays a sort of standard or a sort of speed through something or capacity through something, and you don't have that, it becomes more than just learning the movement. It becomes how to mitigate your weakness in that movement, how to strategize it better, how to avoid blowing up so that you can catch up on other movements that might be coming in the workout too. So I think there's value on both sides of it.
I think I agree. I agree with a lot of that. Both y'all said the technique of it is, I think there's things you can learn to see, hey, what is he doing better than me? I'm struggling with this. But if it's weaknesses, we weren't always alike in fitness styles and strengths and weaknesses, but we got closer together in fitness styles because of how much we trained together. When it came to a running workout or a gymnastics thing, I knew if I went unbroken, I was going to probably beat Travis. So he had to learn how to push in other areas, or push to go bigger sets or fast, or learn how to strategize his breaks, and then vice versa. If Travis was going to he was going to go unbroken on a barbell, it forced me to have to go unbroken on a barbell, so I got good at moving a heavier barbell. I would beat guys who were stronger than me. I had no business beating because I trained how to cycle barbells because Travis was going to cycle the barbell. And I would win him the workout if I didn't try to keep up there. So it forced us to push our weaknesses to the next level. That's for sure. Even if it's, you're not recognizing or thinking I just got to try harder. Well, a lot of times when you're at that level of athleticism, I think you're going to try a lot harder on your technique to do better on things too. So, I think all around it will increase your weaknesses if you have somewhat different strengths and weaknesses.
you had to be willing to like actually do something you wanted to do, or willing to take a poor strategy to keep up, to give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
Because you could just, go in and say, all right, I got to break this up and play it smart, but you're going to lose. And Jordan and I were like, no, the losing part wasn't an option.
So, losing a training piece is a funny concept, but that's how you guys brought intensity, right? That's why you got so good, because you pushed intensity. So even though, like you're kind of saying, if you pick a strategy to get better at something in training that you're trying to improve on or focus on, it will slow you down because you're too focused on one aspect of that workout to improve on. And then you're going to lose, in quotes, lose the training piece. But if you push, you have a better chance. And I think that, maybe that is sort of part of what made you guys the type of athletes you were, because I think both of you guys, while you were pretty well-rounded, obviously well-rounded enough to get to the games, you both had sort of home run things too. You both had home run hitting skills that, whether it's Jordan's like strict handstand push-ups at the time. I know there's a lot of guys now who could do what Jordan did back then, but back then there were not people who could pistol, handstand push-up, and muscle up quite as fast as Jordan commonly. And then Travis's skill and strength with a barbell, even though he took a 0 in the clean and jerk at the games one of those years.
I beat him in the lifting event.
Took it last place with 2 misses. I saw the leaderboard today, and that reminded me of that moment where my stomach sunk. But yeah, that was funny. Anyway, training partners do breed accountability. They do, especially these two guys. They are each other's reason for being as good as they were. So, all right, let's. Travis, I'm going to see if we can get you to get some clear audio here and chat about Murph, because you got to do Murph back-to-back years, 2015 and 16. Were there significant differences between the years?
So if you pause it, well, okay, I'll probably get the audio. Because while the sound's on the video, my audio is coming out like shit. Cause I'm on my phone.
I can pause it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, man, I think I finished like 22nd in 15 and 19th or 18th and 16, something like that. So it was still middle of the pack, but it was hot both times. 16 wasn't as hot as 15. 15, I think almost everybody there was 1 or 2 people that didn't want the whole crowd, and I was one of them. And I don't know, it just, dealing with Murph in the heat was something different, and I don't think a lot of people had a lot of experience. But being from Texas, like, that kind of helped. I knew, like, hey, like, people always talk about going to that dark place in CrossFit. I'm like, well, you kind of can't, because the sun beats you every time, right? So 16, they let us do it a little bit earlier in the morning, and then half the field was shaded.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was really funny because I ran out and I wasn't paying any attention to that. I ran to the right side of the field that was not shaded. There was a lane just straight ahead, right in front of the entrance. I was like, "Wow, shit! I'll take this one. I wonder why nobody's taking this." Afterwards, we're walking out. Josh Bridges is like, "Who's the dumb motherfucker that took the lane right in the sun?" And I was like, "Oh, that's why you guys are running to the left." I couldn't figure it out. Like, but yeah, and then the shade was moving away. So the farther to the left you went, the more time you got to spend in the shade through the whole workout.
Isn't that funny?
But yeah, I mean, again, the Murph doing it straight through, that's a lot. To me, that was a lot easier than doing it partition, because you just got to kind of there and feel sorry for yourself and bake in the heat. And partition, you actually have to like kind of grind through and keep moving fast the entire time. I don't know. They both.
What do you guys think? You guys think the best strategy is for Murph if you're going to go? Well, I guess on partition, there's no strategy, right? You just got to break it up before you hit failure in certain places. But if you're going to partition Murph anyway, and I'm bringing this up because Murph's in a month, there's a lot of people doing Murph prep. They love to prep for Murph. Like, what is the best way to partition Murph if you're going to do it?
So there's only one way to do it. Did it in like 32 minutes, something like that, at my gym. You do miles, whatever you're fast, maybe not super fast. Then you do 10 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 30 squats, 10 more push-ups.
Let me see if I can repeat that because it was a little broken. So you run the mile, and then you do rounds of 10 pull-ups, 10 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 30 squats, 10 push-ups. So you're sandwiching push-ups between pull-ups and squats over and over again, and that's 10 rounds of that.
You can always do 10 push-ups.
Jeez, I don't know if I can always do 10 push-ups, but I guess I can for a while. All right,
think,
Jordan, how do you do it?
Well, if we're speaking to 2015, 2016, or through 2019, Jordan, I kind of agree with Travis. That's how I would have done it. Maybe 5 push-ups out there, or just try to do 10 rounds of the 10, 20, 30, or 10 rounds of that, I guess. Somewhere in there, but if you're talking to me today, I might be half Murph. But, I would be probably doing the 20 rounds of 5, 10, 15. It depends on what you can manage. Like, you just want to try to minimize your breaks or your rest periods. So partitioning in the 5, 10, 20 is or is it 5, 10, 15? I can't
5,
remember.
10, 15.
5, 10, 15. Yeah. It's a pretty classic way to kind of get yourself finished without, blowing up too much. But you're going to probably face a little more cardio and possibly a little more fight with the heat if you're doing it in the heat. If you're fit enough, I agree that you should give the 1 mile run into the 10 rounds of 10, 20, 30, but maybe putting some push-ups like 5 to 10. I think the push-up part is the point where it's like, for most people, it's like, hey, I have an engine, so you have to make sure your push-ups don't go to failure first.
Right. Yeah, upper body, no kipping. It's just strict pressing over and over again. It's the only thing that's going to ever fail on you in that workout.
Yeah. So,
the only right answer is unpartitioned. You guys feel that way?
Only right answer is unpartitioned. If that's just how you want to do it, man, go for it. That'll take a lot longer. It just depends on what what kind of, workout you want to do. If that's your way of doing it, go for it. Do it on partition. I'll see you in a couple hours. And
Corey Lunny in the chat, all-star guest today. I had Corey on the show like a month and a half ago or something like that. We watched some old throwdowns.
Corey freaking Lunny. This dude was like, he was on my list. He was a target. When I heard about like some of his pennies times or stuff, I was like, who is this guy?
And he's so strong.
Taking my thunder and also outlifting me like this guy. Yeah.
But he never made the games because he was in the unfortunate Northeast region.
Where
you could barely even qualify for regionals. It was so hard.
Dude, that was terrible. That was a great and terrible experience for me.
Oh yeah, well, you had that year up here. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do one more quick video. I want to do more on Murph, but honestly, Murph is such a shit show to try to watch. It's so messy on the thing. We could do a whole Murph episode at some point. But all right, one more thing. So before you guys both kind of, I don't want to say ended your CrossFit careers, but you're on hiatus at bare minimum right now. Your CrossFit careers are on hiatus while you do real work. Jordan's coming back for Masters, I think. We'll see. Travis is too. I'll convince you guys.
No.
All right, you guys run a team. Team Don't Stop made a push.
You make them a priority, which they're not, because this isn't a 2-round event.
So
Round 3,
before we get into this, I'll just say this. I freaking hate team. I hate it. Getting a call in the middle of this. All right, sorry. So I absolutely hate team. I think it is a major distraction from the individuals, and Seth competing in this year. If they'd let me in adaptives, I could. That's about it. I just hate it. I don't like it at the games. I know it gets more people training and more people involved and everything else, but maybe you guys can tell me what the draw is of going team versus individual and why they should keep it as part of the sport.
Travis, you go ahead.
And 2018, I was wore out. Workouts weren't feeling great. I didn't have a great reason to train. At the gym, I don't know. I don't know. And I was like, Jordan, you want to find some girls, a good team? He said, do it. I think he was kind of in the same boat. We were supposed to be
So
Yeah.
sorry, I'm
I can
going to cut you off
elaborate
just
on
'cause-
that actually.
Yeah, well, so is it fair to say that basically a team is a good place to go when your individual side of things is wrapping up, and it's just like a nice way to still enjoy the sport, but you're not going to make the highest level push anymore? Is that kind of what's going on, Jordan?
I think it's safe to say that. I think it can also give you a break if you're like, hey, I need a year off from going indie, and I want to go team dish for a couple years, and then come back. That's fine too. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of team athletes that could definitely be on the, make a splash at the individual level. They're like maybe not wanting to put the time into it. I know I was burnt out. I missed 2 years in a row. I just got back from Maine. I was hurting pretty bad, and I think that was the year that we went from 6 teams to 4 teams, and they had just announced that you could train wherever you wanted, or like you could recruit or something like that. I don't know. But
that was it.
Yeah,
What's
it was just
that?
super teams.
Oh, super teams. Yeah.
That was the first year. It was just teams of 4 basically. So I think that next day after Dave announced it, me and Travis agreed that we wanted to do this. And I think part of the reason why was the previous year, me and him had we did a team together. What was Wadapalooza? Me and him and Chandler, we all 3 went and won Wadapalooza.
Yes,
and
you did.
That was probably out of all the CrossFit, maybe the 2014 regionals is still the best, but that is probably my top 2 favorite competitions I've ever done, just because of how fun it was and the amount of teamwork we put in, and also we just put it. I mean, we pulled together really well and performed well, and that was so much fun. I think
there was a lot of good teams at Wadapalooza that year too, and you guys won. Like, I actually think that's kind of an understated moment as well. Like, for the 3 of you guys to throw down and win that elite team of 3 Wadapalooza thing is no joke. That's that's totally legit.
I agree, and I think that kind of put the possibility of team on the map for us, and obviously the dropping to the 4-person team made it like, hey, let's do this. I mean, I don't think we knew exactly what we were getting into, but we, both being in kind of maybe the same mental space about individual, it's getting tougher and tougher to train each year. I was like, all right, I got to do something different. So I mean, all in all, yeah, Seth, I would agree that, if it's like, hey, you are wrapping up your indie time, but you're not ready to hang up the competition cape yet, it's a great spot for you. Or if you're just like, man, I'm never going to be able to push into the individual side, I'm going to go I'm just going to see if I can make it on a team. Like, that's a great option. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with it at all. I understand. I think I understand that aspect of it. I think I have a tough time. I don't know. I just feel like the sport of things is already not focusing enough on the elite athletes, like as far as media and stuff goes. We already don't know. Like, I don't know how close you guys are following the sport these days with everything you guys got going on. You're family men now. You got careers, all that stuff. But like, you probably couldn't name half of the individual CrossFit Games athletes that are going there. We don't know who these people are. There's people who are breaking out, but they're blips on the radar. They're just not getting focused on. So I don't know that team is even worth putting the energy into to have, other than it's more of like a community thing. And if they made team a true affiliate cup again, where it was really like who was going to be like the fittest gym, I think I'd get behind it more. And I think the super teams is an interesting spectacle, but I don't know. Other than the top 5 teams that make the games, there's nobody really else even in contention at all worth watching. And near the bottom, like, I don't know. Anyway, that's a rant for another day.
I see your point. I think I agree with that, and that reminds me, I think what they should go back to is maybe if they need to put more spotlight on the individuals, that's great. But what they should do is bring back like the team series and lead it up to like its own team season of the games.
That's interesting.
Because like then it's like, hey, it's 2 separate part of the years, doesn't take away the spotlight, gives individuals the chance like, hey, if I need time off, I don't have to do this, but if I want, I can go jump on team and then maybe get even more team viewership and get to learn more about the individuals that you're going to see at the next part of the season. So maybe that's an idea.
Fair enough. All right. Well, we'll wrap up. We'll end with this. Are either of you guys ever going to make any sort of comeback in CrossFit, whether it be masters, coaching athletes, like, or are you guys just in it kind of, are you even still working out? Like, Travis, where are you at right now?
I'm on a team and I'll be at the West Coast thing this year.
You guys qualified?
Yeah.
Jeez. So Travis is still in the mix. I didn't even know that. You've been silently competing behind my back.
I did all the individual workouts. I didn't.
Okay, you did the individual workouts, but didn't get to post a score. No worries.
Oh, the video's still playing, so.
Oh shit! Hang on. Sorry. Let me kill the video. Yeah, your cell phone does not like the multiple things going on at once. There we go.
I got 25 clean jerks on the clean jerk workout.
Oh damn!
I was kind of down. So I think I did pretty good.
How'd you do on the burpee?
I got 21 out of 50 on the.
I beat you by 1 rep. Will you ever go masters though, Travis?
Oh yeah.
Individual masters, you will.
2027.
Okay, I'm holding you to that. We'll be in touch for that push. Jordan, what about you?
I don't know. We'll see. I doubt it, but I would like to get back into better shape one day. Like right now, it's just not that time of life for me. Like I'm okay with where I'm at. I'll work out still pretty good. I coach an athlete right now. He's in quarterfinals. His name's Bradley Barr. He's doing pretty good.
Wait, quarters or semis? Is he going to semis?
We'll see. I gotta look up some scores, see if he gets there. But
is he masters or individual?
He's an individual. He's 19 years old, I believe. So he's young.
Well, the leaderboard's up, so you can see if he's going to get through and figure.
Okay.
Report back.
Out.
Yeah.
But personally, for me, I'm good with not doing anything right now, and I don't want to commit to something and take away from family time and stuff like that.
Hard commitments aside, is it something that you're entertaining down the road? Hard commitments aside.
Oh, I won't say never.
Okay,
that could be
fair
fun
enough.
down the road, especially if my kids get into it. It'd be fun for all of us to do.
That's a good point. But,
okay.
Well, guys, I really appreciate you taking time away from working and doing this. I know firefighters work so hard. They're just working all day, every day, working. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing.
Depends.
I'm teasing.
It depends.
I'm an old cop who gets to pick on firefighters. It goes both ways, as you're well aware. What, Travis? Huh?
I said I'm getting overtime to do this video right now.
Nice. I'm gonna make maybe I'll have you guys both on, but at least Travis, you need to come back on with a little headset in so I can have a good conversation with you and you're not cutting out all the time. But I'm gonna bring you guys back on at some point. But thank you. That was fun. I'm gonna close this up. Guys, thanks for watching. Guys, you are the best. Thanks for tuning in.